Joe Biden keeps repeating his false claim that he saw pictures of beheaded babies. Many atrocities were committed during the Hamas-led attacks on October 7. Yet the President of the United States continues to repeat debunked falsehoods. On October 11, 4 days after the Hamas-led attacks in Israel, President Joe Biden addressed a group of Jewish community leaders in the Indian Treaty Room of the Executive Office Building in Washington, D.C. "I've been doing this a long time," Biden said. "I never really thought that I would see and have confirmed pictures of terrorists beheading children." It was a jarring statement. And it was false. Biden had seen no such pictures, nor received any such confirmation. He made those comments after Nicole Zedek, a journalist for Israel's I-24 News, reported that 40 babies had been decapitated, citing Israeli soldiers at the scene of the attacks at Kfar Aza. A spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu subsequently stated that babies and toddlers had been found with their heads decapitated. 3 hours later, Biden promoted the claim to the world and asserted he personally saw pictures of the horrifying scene, giving the story supreme legitimacy. Biden has never publicly retracted the incendiary claims. And the Washington Post reported that the president had been urged by staffers not to make that allegation in his speech on October 11, because those reports were unverified. Despite the Israeli government's comments, warnings about the veracity of the claims from his own advisors, and the extensively documented lists of people killed on October 7 during the Hamas raids, Biden has inexplicably and repeatedly doubled down on the claim that he saw pictures of decapitated babies. At a November 16 press conference in Woodside, California, after meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Biden first promoted another debunked charge, that Hamas had what amounted to its own version of a Pentagon under Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza. Here's the situation: you have a circumstance where the first war crime is being committed by Hamas by having their headquarters, their military hidden under a hospital. And that's a fact. That's what's happened, Biden said. He then declared, Hamas has already said publicly that they plan on attacking Israel again like they did before, to where they were cutting babies' heads off to burning women and children alive. The allegation that Hamas beheaded babies continues to spread across the internet and social media. In a post on Israel's official X account, readers were invited to listen to the eyewitness accounts of the 8 burned babies and 1 beheaded baby which were butchered by Hamas terrorists on October 7. It featured a video of Israeli Colonel Golan Vok purporting to describe what he witnessed. On November 26, an Israeli journalist posted an interview with an IDF soldier who claimed that babies had been hung from clotheslines. The reporter later apologized to his readers and said the story was false. "Why would an army officer invent such a horrifying story?" he wrote. "I was wrong." There is evidence to suggest that Biden, in addition to absorbing the most sensational claims made in Israeli media in the immediate aftermath of the October 7 attacks, was fed other unverified claims directly from Netanyahu, his close friend of many decades. Israel released a video of phone call between Netanyahu and Biden on October 11, the first time Biden publicly made the beheading claim. "We were struck Saturday by an attack whose savagery I can say we have not seen since the Holocaust," Netanyahu told Biden. "Since we last spoke, the extent of this evil, it's only gotten worse. They took dozens of children, bound them up, burned them, and executed them." He added, "They're even worse than ISIS and we need to treat them as such." Significantly, Netanyahu does not appear to have alleged that Hamas beheaded babies, though he did claim that soldiers were decapitated. In an appearance with Biden on October 18 in Tel Aviv, Netanyahu made no mention of babies being beheaded. "They beheaded soldiers," he said. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who was shown extensive graphic images of the aftermath of the attacks during a visit to Israel, also did not mention any beheaded babies. There is no doubt that widespread atrocities and war crimes were committed during the Hamas-led attacks on October 7 and that children were killed. Yet in many narratives, the burned or beheaded baby story still forms one of the most harrowing details of the October 7 massacres. According to major Israeli media outlets that have worked diligently to identify all of the victims of the October 7 attacks, there was one infant killed that day, a 9-month-old named Mila Cohen who was shot dead at Kibbutz Be'eri as her mother held her in her arms. Cohen's mom, who was shot in the arm, survived. None of these facts have altered Biden's commitment to making the debunked beheading claim a key detail in his impassioned defense of the legitimacy of Israel's mass killing campaign, during which more than 18,000 Palestinians have been killed, including more than 7,000 children. On December 12, at a re-election campaign event at the Salamander Hotel in Washington, D.C., Biden said, "I saw some of the photographs when I was there, tying a mother and her daughter together on a rope and then pouring kerosene on them and then burning them, beheading infants, doing things that are just inhuman, totally, completely inhuman."